YouTube, and in this tutorial we'll be looking at the basics of Photoshop. So let's open that now. I'm going to open a file that comes standard with every version of Photoshop, no matter which one you have. I think it's quite similar if you're on a Windows computer. You just have to navigate to the Adobe Photoshop folder and go to presets, no, not presets, samples, photo merge. I'm just going to choose this random one and open it up, and this is the picture. Just to point out that what I'm going to do now should work with most versions of Photoshop, no matter if you're using a CS version or not. So there'll be you have to allow for a bit of change depending on which one you're using, but it shouldn't be that different. So now you can see that there's a picture of a city here, and the first thing that we notice is that it's quite dark. So that can be cured by going to Image, Adjustments, and Levels. And here we can see the input level graph of the brightness settings of the picture. We can see we can define definite black and definite white. And let's redefine the white. As you can see, I'm moving it, and as it moves, the image becomes brighter. So I can make it darker, brighter. This will become darker and brighter. So as a general rule of thumb, you want this to be right on the edge of where things are going on this graph thing here. And this should be the opposite end, and this should be somewhere in the middle. So that looks alright. Or you could just let Photoshop do it yourself. I think I can do it, so I'll just press OK. And we can see it looks a bit better. Just staying with adjustments, you can change the brightness settings, make it a bit more bright, like that. That looks alright. Oh yeah, you could also do contrast, but that would not be beneficial to us in this tutorial. You can change the exposure settings. We wouldn't really need to change this, but just to show you, this will make it white, pure white, opposite pure black, but I think 0 is good. Offset, make it like a white tinge, make it a dark tinge. Same, leave it at 0. So that looks a bit better. And now the second thing we can see is the dull looking sky, and we can change that quite simply, quite easily, by selecting, well, it depends really what colour you want. I've seen people do it with black, green even, but I'm going to do it with a nice dark blue for a dark blue sky. So that looks quite right. I'll then use the gradient tool and make sure that this is selected not foreground to background, but foreground to transparent. Otherwise it wouldn't work. It won't work. So make sure that's selected. Make sure the linear gradient is selected by hovering over this one. And then quite simply, you have to make a new layer. I'm just going to call this layer. I'm going to call this layer Sky, and just draw a line by holding Shift to make a straight line from about there to the bottom of the horizon, about there, top of the horizon rather. And you can see that it comes with this rather comical looking blue sky. So we can change this by going to the layer inspection panel thing and going to overlay, and you can see that immediately it looks a bit better. You can feel free to change the opacity settings how you like it, about 76%. I'm happy with that. That's alright. And that is basically all we'll be covering in this tutorial, apart from now saving it. So if you want to export it in an Illustrator readable way, then you just click Path to Illustrator, and that will convert it. But if you want to save it as a JPEG or Photoshop document, PSD, hit Save As, and then choose a location to save it, and press Save, and it would save. I hope you enjoyed watching this tutorial. Comment, rate, and subscribe. Thank you very much.